Thanks everyone for watching today. I'm going to refer to video work during this talk and play a few very short clips. But if you want to view the videos in full after the talk, you can do that. I'll put a link up. So my name is Susan Hughes and I graduated with a BA in painting in 2006 from the University of Ulster. I'm from Belfast City, but because my father is a bird watcher, my family holidays were always at the coast because bird watching is better at the sea. And so I suppose that established in me a strong draw to the sea, reflected consistently in my practice. As I grew up and got into playing traditional fiddle music, it turned out that a lot of the strongest area for music are also remote coastal areas, glens, islands, fjords, where the music remained strong throughout the years and closely connected with the local history, language and stories. I've managed to sustain my practice since graduation mainly by going on residencies in Ireland, Norway and Iceland in particular. I tend to go to specialised areas, bird sanctuaries, places with strong musical heritage and places that I could swim in the sea. I've been using my fiddle as an invaluable bartering tool over the years. I found that I can play tunes for people in return for local knowledge and stories, a ride in a boat or some homemade beer. Playing folk music also provides a foundation of curiosity about a place, and it's a way to gain direct access to the past. About 9 years ago, I began taking 35mm photos in the sea while swimming. This was before GoPros were widely available or affordable. I found that typing on printed photos with a typewriter had a really nice effect, and so I started incorporating text, first bits of other people's writing, then more and more of my own text. And now text is a much more explicit part of my practice. Pale underwing. Not pure white, but a dirty off-white. I actually graduated in painting and I do still love painting, but I've ended up using a broad range of media as process and final product, much like a lot of artists do. However, I have gravitated towards video in particular during the course of my MFA, taking advantage of the facilities in the university, especially Alan, the audiovisual technician. With video, I can produce work that is immersive and intimate, combining footage, graphics, audio and text. I found it a fantastically versatile storytelling medium. My work until MFA had been autobiographical, so it was a departure last year to use someone else's experiences. I used my father's birdwatching field notebooks from the 70s and the 80s, extracted fragments of unintentionally beautiful data and juxtaposed these with my own more self-conscious writings. Artists such as Hamish Fulton, Lawrence Weiner and Amanda Beach have influenced how I now use text as a malleable conceptual and visual material. I play with the words, the vocabulary and the tone. I try to create a space for a new narrative to be invented. This year I presented a body of work called Something Happens to Time. A series of videos were accompanied by a publication. The publication was designed to be like a manual, a map to link my videos together, comprising my own writing, interview transcripts and research. It was influenced by books made by the likes of Tacit Dean, which are created to accompany an exhibition, but in the end stand alone as beautifully crafted entities. I really like publications like these as physical objects which can be posted out to people and become like little printed portals to other worlds, especially at the minute. So Something Happens to Time was made up of 4 videos. In the first one, an encounter with a lion's mane jellyfish is morphed into an ambiguous love letter. In the second video, stop motion hands break the surface of an invisible sea, a retelling of a night swim in bioluminescence. And the other videos I presented stem from an interview with Niamh Scullion, who's a rower with Lagan Curras. I chatted to her one morning after I rowed up the Lagan, which is the row that this footage is taken from, and I asked her about rowing from Ireland to Scotland. She said that when you're rowing for 12 hours at a stretch, something happens to time. This phrase captivated me, and so I asked if I could interview her. The interview at first was just research, but it turned into an artwork. This work is made from a position of deep respect. It's as much about my own horror of and fascination with nature as it is an homage to the rower herself and the vastness of humanity's relationship with the sea that she carries in her words. Using someone other than yourself as subject brings up issues around autonomy of the subject. As an artist, you're in control of how your subject is represented through your decisions and your edits. I'm interested in Jordan Baseman's interview, recording and editing processes and how Werner Herzog presents the subjects. Through the making of these videos, I've really learned how to video edit. I used various film, audio and editing techniques to create tone and rhythm, to build suspense and drama, to stir and move the viewer. All the videos are quite short, about 3 minutes, and have a beginning, middle and end, a bit like a pop song. In video, I can use text in a rhythmic way and play with the ambiguity of the language. And I can utilise my musical background to create comprehensive audio within the video with tight timing and original experimental music. Using my own footage, including underwater footage taken while swimming, allows me to establish a particular intimacy. Placing my own lived experience within someone else's narrative in this way, a bit like what I did when I explored my father's bird books, enables me to steer away from straight representation or documentation and create a space for alternative interpretations and abstraction. Thank you.